Maybe, maybe you've heard this one before, but the point of this video is which wolf will you feed? Now, every single day, you wake up and I wake up with a choice, and a silent battle begins inside of us. And whether you realize it or not, you're feeding one of the two wolves you see on the screen. One is fear, the other is courage. One is envy, the other is gratitude. One holds you back, the other pulls you forward. So let me ask you a very simple yet dangerous question. Which wolf are you feeding right now? Now, to explain this a little bit better, I'll give you a story. A grandfather once told his grandson, there is a battle inside of me between two wolves. One is anger, fear, jealousy, and hate. The other is joy, peace, love, and hope. And the boy asked, well, which one wins? And the old man smiled and said, the one you feed. And if you're honest with yourself, but really, really, really honest, you already know which one you're feeding right now and which one you've been feeding yesterday and last week and last month and throughout this whole year, because we all have that little voice, the one that says, I'm not ready, I'll never make it, I'll never make it, it's too risky, what will people think? That's the dark wolf talking. And every time you believe that voice, you're feeding that little red wolf you see on the screen. To make it stronger, to make it louder, to let it drive the car, to let it drive you, to let it drive your life. But there is that other voice too, and it's much quieter sometimes, but it's much more powerful. And it says, try again. Let's show up. Let's keep going. Let's lead. Let's be the best we can be today. Because leadership isn't about loud words, it's about silent decision no one sees. Now, there is a guy, I read a quote a long time ago, but I forgot his name, and it says like this: the man, the man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back to the crowd. You want to trade for a living? You want the freedom, the autonomy, the peace? Then, well, be ready to turn your back on the crowd and stand while others panic. Think critically while others copy signals. To build patiently while others chase dopamine. The wolves, they're always going to be there. But the only one who can feed them is you. The only one of them can also eat. Only one of them can also eat. And you decide which one you feed. Now, there's an old Chinese proverb that says, if one man says there is a tiger in a marketplace, you ignore it. If two men say it, you begin to worry. If three men say it, you start to believe it. But there is a twist to that. There's only one tiger. This is how the illusion of truth is created, by repetition. So say something enough times and it becomes the truth. This is how society programs you. You need a 9 to 5. You need a university degree. You need to wait for your turn. Three men make a tiger. You've been fed the same ideas so many times. You've forgotten to stop and ask, do I actually believe this? Or is this something that I've inherited as a belief inside me? So let's talk about how this turns into trading every single day. So every day you lose a trade and you start doubting your system. That's feeding the dark wolf. You see 5 red candles and assume the trend is dead. That's feeding the crowd. You hesitate because of what others might think. That's trading fear. Now, contrast that with the following: follow your plan despite the outcome. That's feeding the disciplined wolf. Execute the setup even after 3 losses. That's feeding resilience. Ignore social media noise and stay in your zone. That's feeding courage. And here's the truth: every moment in trading is a micro choice. And at the end of the day, you just need to answer this: am I feeding fear or am I feeding my edge? You don't need more indicators. You don't need to feed the right wolf, the wrong wolf, or the right wolf. You just need to feed that wolf that you choose to be your wolf over and over and over again. And the only way to do that is by being aware of what you're allowing to grow inside you. Every day you feed your beliefs. Every day you feed your identity. Every day you either feed limitation or liberation. So here's your question: which wolf will you feed today? Because the one you feed becomes your mindset, becomes your actions, becomes your trading results and actions, becomes your life. So choose, but choose wisely.